Vetleva is a multifunctional online booking and payment travel service. Your holiday starts with vetleva.by. Ecotourism. The Republic of Belarus has a high potential for ecotourism. Of the total area of the country, 2007.6 thousand square kilometers, 42.7% is occupied by forest lands, 39.9% by agricultural land, 6% by water resources, 11.4% by other lands. There are 1,307 specially protected natural territories in the Republic, 1 reserve for national parks, 381 sanctuaries, 921 natural monuments. The share of all protected areas is the 5th part of the country's area. Belarusian nature has been preserved in its original form to this day. Rare species of wild animals and birds live here. Ancient forests and natural landscapes fascinate with their beauty. At the same time, Belarus is a modern, urbanized country that keeps up with time, where guests from all over the world are warmly and sincerely welcomed. Visit Belarus and you will be able to see all the beauty of a European country with its unforgettable nature. And we are sure you will come back here more than once. Among the points of attraction of the country, the most prominent is the first nature reserve in Europe, one of the largest forest areas of flat Europe, the National Park Belaverskaya Pushcha, which still remains its status of a specially protected natural area not only in Belarus, but also in Europe. According to historical data, the reserve has been unique even before the christening of Russia. The chroniclers have described the events that took place 1,000 years ago and noted the special wildness of its nature. So many animals lived in dense forests. Whoever owned the forest, Kievan princes, Polish kings, Russian tsars, or general secretaries of the Soviet Union, it was the rulers' favorite hunting grounds. Nowadays, the Belarusian part of the national park covers an area of 150.83 hectares. The length of the park from north to south is 65 kilometers, and from west to east from 20 to 52 kilometers. The relief of the park is undulating gently. Flat areas alternate with some hills and depressions. Most of the rivers are latitudinal and belong to the Baltic Sea basin. Their sources are located directly within the forest area or in nearby swamps. The watershed between the rivers of the basins of the Baltic and Black Seas runs along the northeastern edge of the forest. There is a well-preserved wild swamp, which is one of the largest lowland swamps in Europe. There are 59 species of various mammals in Belaverskaya Pushcha, including the largest representative of the modern European fauna and the calling card of the park, bison, whose population reaches 675 heads. Among predators, there are wolves, lynxes, foxes, pine martens, etc. Large ungulates, wild boar, red deer, roe deer, elk are hunting species. Various biotechnical measures create favorable conditions for the sustainable existence of animals. To everyone who loves to travel, discover new corners of nature, spend their time with health benefits, Belaverskaya Pushcha will provide an excellent opportunity for an unforgettable vacation. Visits to the following eco-routes. Visit to the Dokudovo swamp with a total length of 6 kilometers. In the morning and evening hours, you can see here grazing bison, deer, roe deer, wild boars. Watch birds, among which large predators attract attention. Observation towers are equipped for wildlife observation and photography. The Lake Ring route, with a total length of 5.8 kilometers. It goes mainly among pine, spruces and black alder forests, which alternate with open areas of the Provalesna River floodplain, swamps, small glades and abandoned gardens. The route is decorated with small artificial lakes created in the early 1970s to regulate the hydrological regime of the territory. During the trip, you can see a real unique nature, more than 200-year-old juniper, as well as wild animals, and it's not uncommon to observe soaring birds of the prey in the sky. The Northern Path hiking route, with a total length of 3.8 kilometers, starts at the house of legendary Count Tiszkiewicz, where a mansion built in the 1930s and a park with exotic plants have been preserved. In the vicinity, forests of tall sheep pines are not uncommon, and in favorable conditions there are giant spruces, giant maples and ash trees. Belaverskaya Pushcha is not only rich nature, but also immortalized history. So for everyone who is interested in the events of the past, Belovezhskaya Pushcha will provide an excellent opportunity for an unforgettable vacation. Take a sightseeing tour with a visit to the Museum of Folk Life and Ancient Technologies. Guests will be able to get acquainted with the primeval forest, its flora and fauna, admire lakes and various landscapes, see a 600-year-old oak, a 350-year-old pine, historical monuments. The Museum of Folk Life and Ancient Technologies presents household items and utensils, without which the existence of the rural overall population was unthinkable not so long ago. Visit the revived fairy tale, The Estate of Santa Claus, the most famous tourist brand in the country. The estate is a continuation of the bewitching magic of the ancient forest, a fairy tale created by human hands, which naturally fits into its color and occupies almost 15 hectares. Houses decorated with open-wall carvings, garlands of multicolored light bulbs sparkling with thousands of lights, together with stories and beliefs, create an atmosphere of everlasting holiday, a feeling of magic. Get acquainted with the archaeological finds in the open-air museum, which is the only and unique historical, cultural, tourist site in the Republic of Belarus, reflecting the development of the material and spiritual life of the ancient population of Belarus. Discover the excursion enclosures, a small forest zoo made of demonstration enclosures with wild animals, which allows visitors to the national park to admire their greatness. Visit the Vygonoshansky Forest and Bog Natural Complex, located on the watershed territory of the Black Sea and Baltic basins, one of the largest in Europe. Here, guests can enjoy rich fishing, relax at the hotel, or live in a tent of the lakeshore, see typical Polesa landscapes, watch rare bird species, walk along ecological paths, feel peace and tranquility of the surrounding landscapes. In 1992, by decision of UNESCO, the National Park Belovezhskaya Pushcha was included in the list of the World Heritage of Humanity. In 1993, the park received the status of a biosphere reserve, and at the end of 1997, the Council of Europe awarded in the European Diploma as one of the exemplary environmental institutions of the European continent. Immerse yourself in a magical forest fairy tale, the National Park Belovezhskaya Pushcha. If you want to look into the beauties of Belarusian nature in the north, then you definitely need to visit the youngest national park in our country, Narochansky. The park covers an area of more than 87,000 hectares. Its length from north to south is 34 kilometers, from west to east 59 kilometers. The Narochansky National Park is an unusual place. On the one hand, there is a comfortable resort and recreation area where everything is arranged for the comfortable holidays. But it's worth taking a step aside, and a person finds himself in a place where endangered animal species live among rare plants. The uniqueness of the relief, the diversity of ecosystems and flora of the natural complexes of the national park is the result of their geographical position during the last Pozersky glaciation. This circumstance influenced the appearance of the endless, large open spaces, necklaces of 40 lakes in the malachite frame of forests, a motley mosaic of fields and meadows, strings of rivers and streams, and the geometry of settlements. The pearl of the park is Lake Naroch, a standard of natural landscapes, valuable natural complexes, genetic and biological diversity of the Belarusian lakeland. The flora of the park is diverse, characterized by a concentration of rare and protected plant species in small areas of the territory. Forest ecosystems occupy half of the park. The park also has an arboretum garden with a forest museum with an area of 16.4 hectares. Among rare and endangered plants listed in the Red Book of the Republic of Belarus, 107 species have been identified here. The fauna is represented by 326 species of vertebrates: elk, wild boar, roe deer, raccoon dog, badger, fox, marten, wolf, mink, otter, beaver, muskrat, European red deer, etc. are found in the park. 51 species of birds listed in the Red Book of Belarus live here. 35 species of fish live in the lakes and streams of the park. For everyone who loves to travel, discover new corners of nature, spend their free time with health benefits, the Narochansky National Park will provide an excellent opportunity for an unforgettable vacation. The following eco routes. Blue Lakes Eco Trail. The length of the route is 4 kilometers and 7 kilometers. which goes through rough terrain, the crest of the Eska Ridge, coniferous forest along the shores of picturesque lakes, Glubla, Glubelka, Mrtvye, across the Strucha River and channels along wetlands, large areas of light pine forests, mixed forests and gloomy spruce forests have sheltered many birds and animals, traces of which are visible everywhere and give the impression of mysterious fairy tale. For lovers of outdoor activities, there is the opportunity of accommodation among the picturesque nature on the coasts of 12 lakes, where 14 tourist camps are equipped. Visit the Environmental Education Center, where you can get answers to your questions about nature, recreation and rules of conduct in the national park. The Land of Norwich Lakes is a well-known brand for tourists, travelers, sightseers. You can come here for many years, and every time you can get new, strong and unforgettable impressions. If you want to look into the beauties of Belarusian nature in the east, then you definitely need to visit the only specially protected natural area in the country with the first category of protection, the State Nature Conservation Institution, Berezensky Biosphere Reserve. It is part of the international network of biosphere reserves of UNESCO. In 2013, the Berezensky Biosphere Reserve joined the international network of the PEN Parks Foundation, becoming a wildlife partner and received a Wilderness Diploma for ensuring the guaranteed protection of 27,204 hectares of wildlife within the protected area. The reserve is a unique natural complex which includes an exceptional variety of different types of forests, meadows and marshes, a unique floodplain complex of the Berezna River, many large and small rivers, unique lakes. In the Berezensky Reserve, in the same territory, the big European five of large mammals live in the wild: elk, bison, bear, wolf and lynx. Almost a third of the entire Belarusian brown bear population, 35-40 individuals, lives on the territory of the reserve, whose representatives annually settle in adjacent territories. For everyone who loves to travel, discover new corners of nature, spend their free time with health benefits, the Berezensky Biosphere Reserve will provide an excellent opportunity for an unforgettable vacation. The following tours and eco-routes: 6 active tours. Ecotourism on wheels, the move of the horse, on the Berezna River, forest secrets, to the upper reaches of the Berezna, in the footsteps of the clubfoot, photos to nature, kingdom of the graceful fallow deer, in the land of the roaring deer, live orchestra, bear corner, 4 types of weekend tours, romantic weekend, friendly family, active holiday, weekend in the Berezensky Reserve, 1 festive tour Kupala Dream, tourist routes of various types and for every taste of visitors: walking, cycling, water, combined, horseback riding, skiing. The Berezensky Reserve is an amazing world of wild animals, rivers, forests and swamps. Here, man is not the master of nature, but only an observer. This is a place where you can feel and understand what nature was like in its original form. But if you return to the north of the country and find a place that is completely different in terms of impression, which can be described with the word easy, then undoubtedly this place is associated with the Braslav Lakes. Braslav region is one of the most beautiful natural corners of Belarus, where an unusual relief and the water surface of lakes are combined with a rich flora and fauna. In order to preserve the natural complex of the Braslav group of lakes as a standard of natural landscapes, a repository of the genetic fund of the flora and fauna of the Belarusian lakeland and its use in the process of environmental protection, scientific, educational, tourist, recreational and health-improving activities. The Braslav Lakes National Park was created in 1995, the area of which is 64.4 hectares. There are 74 lakes within the boundaries of the national park, which occupy approximately 17% of the entire territory. For everyone who loves to travel, discover new corners of nature, spend their free time with health benefits, the Braslav Lakes National Park will provide an excellent opportunity for an unforgettable vacation. The following tours and eco-routes: Mount Mayak Eco Trail. Mount Mayak is a unique natural object located between the lakes Snudy and Strusto, from the 174-meter peak of which one can see natural landscapes and lake surfaces, exceptional in their picturesqueness and magnificence, with numerous islands and shallows. Slobodkovskaya Ozovaya Ridge eco-trail is distinguished by a picturesque landscape. The route includes peculiar sites, rare forms of glacial relief, thickets of common juniper of various shapes, settlements of the 7th century before Christ, 6th century AD, military training ground of the Polish border troops. Belmont Park eco-trail. Belmont is the second largest park in Belarus, with an area of 62 hectares, founded in the middle of the 18th century. The ensemble of the ancient park has been preserved here, and the water system, although it has particularly ceased to function. There is a unique high-aged forest stand, which is of great importance for the conservation of the biological diversity of the region. Tourist routes. Turbazovsky Horn tourist route. Here, tourists are waiting for mysterious forest paths, a picturesque lake, bewitching landscapes, amazing animals and plants. Mekiane Safari Park is an open-air cage and pond farm which occupies a total area of 1,234.65 hectares, includes a safari park, demonstration enclosures, and Mekiane fish hatchery. Tourists are also offered various types of routes, cycling, on foot, water. If you want to look into the beauty of the Belarusian nature in the south, in the very heart of Pripyat-Polesye, in the interfluve of Pripyat, Stviga and Ubort, then you definitely need to visit Pripyatsky National Park. The area of the park as a specially protected natural area is 81,156 hectares, or 1.28% of the area of the Belarusian Polesye. The territory is stretched from west to east for 64 kilometers, from north to south for 27 kilometers. The area of the Pripyatsky National Park is 189,850 hectares. The landscape basis of the park is forests, which, together with swamps and floodplain river areas, make up about 95% of the area. In the north of the park there is the Pripyat River with a wide floodplain represented by forest, meadow, shrub, swamp and water ecosystems. The floodplain has a high diversity and abundance of ungulates, semi-aquatic and predatory animals, various bird species, gulls, duck terns, herons, eagle owl, osprey, short-toed eagle, grimes, woodpeckers and many others. Both Pripyat and Oxbow lakes are rich in fish. In the floodplain, at any time of the year, unique magnificent natural landscapes open up to the gaze. But it looks most beautiful in spring, when vast expanses of meadows and swamps, shrubs and forests are covered with flat waters, and so-called Herodotus Sea is formed. Bream and pike, saberfish and roach, ide and perch spawn in shallow water meadows and forests flooded by flood waters. The ethnocultural festival Call of Polesye is held annually on the territory of the park, where tourists are given a unique opportunity to get in touch with the original culture of Polesye by visiting the City of Masters, the participants of which are local craftsmen. You can learn more about the nature of Belarus, the national parks of the country and their opportunities, as well as book a trip from anywhere in the world. Vetliva is a multifunctional online booking and payment travel service. Your holiday starts with vetliva.by. Thus, Belarus was able to combine future-oriented development with respect for connection to nature. Come, breathe the air of the primeval forest in the Belovezhskaya Pushcha. Walk in the tranquility of the swamps of the Berezensky Reserve. Turn your face to the sun and wind on Narach and Braslav lakes. Freeze before the infinity of Polesye. This is harmony. This is unexplored Belarus.